Come on, man. Yeah, I'm back. It's been 3, 4 days since I did my last podcast. Um, lots going on. Lot. Uh, I don't know if you've been keeping score. You really need a score sheet. You really do. We've got. This is regarding the presidential election, which is still ongoing. Let's see. It's been 16 days since the vote. And apparently there's 6 states in the United States that can't find their ass without a map and 2 flashlights, apparently. So I don't know who is kidding themselves saying that there is no voter fraud or election tampering. I don't know who would be dumb enough to believe that at this point. There's lawsuits being filed all over the place. I believe Nevada's got a couple. Michigan's a disaster. They had 2 Republican election people on the board, and they were trying to, I guess, certify the election in Wayne County, which includes Detroit. And without Detroit, you have no Michigan. I mean, if you don't win in Detroit, you don't win Michigan for the most part. So they originally voted against certifying there were 2 Republicans on there and 2 Democrats. 2 Republicans said they're not certifying the election results because they're tainted, plain and simple. All kinds of strange stuff going on. You've heard it all. Poll watchers not being allowed near the tables. Come on. I mean, this is so blatantly obvious, it's not even funny. But anyway, these two Republicans, I believe they went ahead and said they were going to certify, and then they had a caveat saying that it had to be audited. Well, then Wayne County decided not to audit, so they've rescinded their vote on the election, or on the certifying it. So it's a mess. It's a mess. I've never seen this big of a mess. And, it's really funny. You talk to Democrats, or you hear them talking on MSNBC and the like, and what they talk about is that, there's no evidence of widespread, fraud. I don't know what you're looking at, because it sure looks like it to me. I mean, I'm no expert on it, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, Iraq had an election. It was certified in a couple of days. Suddenly we've got 6 states that can't count votes. We're finding votes laying out on the floor. It sounds like I'm talking to my 12-year-old. Yeah, where'd you put your headphones at? I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. This is ridiculous. Votes being changed. You've got Dominion, the vote tallying software. You've got another company, a subsidiary of that's involved in counting them. There, the votes are being sent to Germany and then sent back. I mean, it's ridiculous. What we should do, and if the Supreme Court had any balls at all, is to say, you know what, we're done with this. We're going to have a new election. We're going to have it in 2 weeks, and it's going to be all paper. You got to have a photo ID to get in, and that's it. That's it, unless you have special circumstances. That's it. And we're going to do it again. And this time we're going to let the Republicans come in and watch the Democrats. The Democrats are going to come in and watch the Republicans. That's what they really should do. Because this is a mess. This is embarrassing. I am literally embarrassed to be an American at this point when it comes to elections. We're supposed to be the head, the main guy of democracy. We're supposed to be the badass of democracy in the world. Always spouting off about our free elections and all that stuff. And we can't get this right. And I don't care if Trump wins or not. I really don't at this point. But you got to know that whoever won did it legally. I mean, you're telling me, and getting back to that, you're telling me that Joe Biden got more votes in Detroit than Barack Obama did. This guy can't get 12 people to show up to his events. Come on. You're telling me that that's legal and that's fair. And that's crazy. It's not. It's not. But anyway, I feel like I've lost my mind. I don't know about the rest of you, but there are days I just sit here and I say, I'm not even going to turn on the news. I'm not going to listen to any podcasts. I'm not going to listen to any alt media. I'm not going to listen to anything. Because all it does is depress me. That's all it does. And we're coming up on winter now, okay? I mean, this is ridiculous. You're trying to shut down Thanksgiving. They're trying to shut down Christmas. Gavin Newsom in California. You can't go out. You got to, every time you take a bite at a restaurant, you have to put your mask back on. And then they catch him going to a birthday party. with 40 or 50 people there. In a place, by the way, that the average ticket per person is $350. $350 for one person's meal. I don't know about you, but when's the last time you ate at a place that costs $350 for the whole table? I don't think I've ever done that. If I have, I really don't remember it. I must have been sleepwalking because I don't remember that. $350. He acts like it's no big deal. Says him and his wife pulled up and they didn't know there's many people here. You're the governor of California. You're telling me you didn't know this ahead of time? That's bullshit. Come on. What, are you kidding me? Don't try to lie. I mean, stand there with that smug smile on your face like, there's rules for thee and then there's rules for me. And that's exactly the way he looks at it. And do you know he's related to Pelosi? Which doesn't surprise anybody at this point. It certainly doesn't surprise me. I mean, her during the lockdown, standing in front of her two refrigerators or freezers that cost more than my car per, talking about the chocolate she eats, and everybody needs to settle down. I couldn't believe that. The audacity of this woman is unbelievable. And what happens? She gets elected as Speaker of the House again. I tell you, these Democrats are the biggest morons I've ever seen, and so corrupt, it's not even funny. It's pathetic. But getting back to what I was saying, I'm not sure what I was saying. I'm delirious with I am delirious right now. I don't know. This has got me confused terribly. I mean, I'm a Trump supporter, don't get me wrong, and I would like to see him in the office for 4 more years. But on the flip side, if he does get defeated and he goes somewhere else, he's probably going to start his own broadcasting company. It's probably going to be Trump TV, which would be great for everybody. It really would. He would hire a bunch of people and probably give them free reign, and they would tell stories you will not believe. And I think it's a great thing. That's one good thing out of it. And he'll probably run for re-election in 2024. I mean, why wouldn't you? He won't even be as old as Joe is right now in 4 years. So why not? Why not go ahead and do that? Assuming, of course, he stays healthy in that. But at the end of the day, what have you got to lose here? For him, you don't have anything. Not to mention the fact that I wouldn't want to be Joe Biden. I really wouldn't, because you're gonna have Trump in the news every single day. He's going to talk about things and get more attention than Joe. Joe will have to take a shot at somebody with a 30-06, on live TV to get a front page gig. That's what's going to happen. He's going to be overshadowed by a guy who isn't even president anymore. That's going to be hilarious. But anyway, what I was really wanting to talk about is, and I've alluded to it a little bit, is I don't know. I feel confused. Do you wake up every morning going, the hell is this? What country do I live in now? I mean, what the heck is going on? Have we been that corrupt always? Is that possibly what's been going on? Because I don't understand this. Because if you can't win in the 2020 election, let me back up a little bit. The Democrats are so bad at this. I'm assuming that they haven't been doing this all along, because they're not very good at it. Okay, I'm assuming, I guess just for their benefit, that the Democrats have not been cheating at this level historically in the past. Because if they have been, you would think they would have been caught prior to this. Because in 2016, that was a close race with Hillary Clinton. I mean, she was a formidable opponent for the most part. She had the chops, to go up against this guy. But she ended up losing anyway. Now, did they cheat then too? Because if they did cheat back then, they didn't do a very good job of it, because they lost and conceded within a couple of days. So I'm assuming, and I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt here, I'm assuming the Democrats decided, you know what, we're going all in this time. We're gonna cheat at every level we possibly can. We're gonna beat this guy. Okay. The funny thing is, they're not very good at it. They can't even cover their tracks. I mean, I wrote a tweet the other day, or in Facebook. I said, this election reminds me of a cheating spouse who uses her husband's credit card at the hotel where she's meeting her lover, and then blames it on the husband, or acts like it's no big deal. I mean, they're not very good at this. It's kind of embarrassing. I would have thought the Democrats would be better at this. All they do is just claim that there hasn't been any voter fraud or election manipulation. Of course there is. Any sane person could look at this and go, "There's something really screwed up here. We don't know what it is, and we don't know if Trump won, but there is something screwed up here." And yet, I see these tweets. I see people posting on Facebook, "Oh, there's no big deal. This is just a sore loser." No, it's not. This isn't. We aren't talking about a couple of hundred votes in one state that he's quibbling about. We're talking about massive screw ups in 6 different states. That's different. That's different. From what I'm understanding, from what I've read, and I've seen a couple of people alluding to this, they believe Trump won in a landslide, a major landslide. You're talking about 400 electoral votes, and they manipulated the voter tally, and they did it through this Dominion software. It's the same software they used that Chavez used down in Venezuela, right? Remember that nice guy, a tyrant, a dictator, a communist dictator. Okay, calls himself socialist, which is basically the same thing. But he was a tyrant, and he used that same software, same company, to manipulate the elections down there and win them, hands down. I mean, they literally built stuff into the system so that you could change votes. Who thought it was a good idea to use Dominion then? That's who I'd like to know. That's some of the questions I would like. Questions are not being answered that I want answers to. I mean, the questions aren't even being asked. Whose idea was this? And I see that Texas had an opportunity to use Dominion software, and they turned it down because, as I said, there was too many screw ups. There was too many loopholes. You could drive a car through some of this stuff. So Texas said no. Who in the hell in Georgia said this was a good idea? I mean, was it somebody's brother or somebody's kid who was representing them or something? I don't understand this. There's so many levels of corruption here. I mean, obviously the biggest one is the the voting and the manipulation of the tallies and so forth. I mean, you could literally push a button, from what I understand, what I've read, you could push a button and change tens of thousands of votes from Trump to Biden with a single keystroke. That's not a good system, especially when you do not have Republicans in there watching, or at least being part of the system. I mean, they're saying that some of these mail-in ballots, I read this as well. They're finding that the ballot itself is pristine. Okay, you know what that means? That means it came through the U.S. postal system and didn't get a crease, didn't get a rub, didn't get a dog crap on it or dirt. Pristine. In other words, like they just printed them and brought them in on pallets. That's what it looks like. Yeah, but I'm supposed to look the other way. Nothing to see here, folks. Yeah, Democrats love it. Oh, it's all on the up and up. No, it's not. No, it's not. And I tell you, this can't stand. And I know I don't want to keep repeating myself, but it is the most important news of the day right now. This is a big deal. This is a big deal. Your future and your kids' futures are on the line here. So to say the least, I'm a little bit depressed about this. I think frustrated is probably more the word. Depressed, I don't think that's me. But frustrated, upset, absolutely. Confused, oh my God, I can use all kinds of terms to describe this. But I'm hoping that at some point they're going to nail this down, because I don't know that you can. I hope they do. I hope they nail it down, but I don't know that you can, because a lot of these votes don't even exist anymore. And a lot of them, like in Pennsylvania, they don't know when these votes came in. No one was keeping track, So I don't know how you solve this. I think the Supreme Court's going to have to get involved. I really do. Between Giuliani and Trump's other lawyer, Sydney, I can't remember what her name is. But anyway, she's a badass, and I don't think she's going to back down. Intimidation be damned. I don't think she's going to back down. And Giuliani, this guy dealt with a mob in New York, and he's not backing down, not a chance. So good luck with that, Dems. And these guys, just keep telling yourself that everything's fine, okay? Because if you think that, I got a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn, okay? And it's cheap. It's really cheap. So you can write me a check. I'll even take a check, okay? I tell you, there's some stupid people out there, and it amazes me. So Anyway, we'll talk again. But right now, that's basically how I'm looking at things. It's a weird world right now. So good talking to you. Be careful.